back to Ghana. Na yembunra the business mogul, one and only RNAQ Richard Ni Amakwe. Na kachi nyina himself for some time now no. One in the former wife Joanna Quaye womo awarija ye hun sensem abeteni e wo Ghana hanum say has been one issue to the one issue after the other. But no say there is a fresh lawsuit asaba betoja against Richard Ni Amakwe from the yere mame Joanna Quaye. Obebusa say edien na koso why, what is happening, what is the fresh lawsuit edien biem na see from the disposition of can say properties any their court verdict any ade nyina ade biem nanso ye kiremu Richard Ni Amakwe ni ex-wife ni say nyama nkitinkiti wa one notice and say we filing new case ade na one notice now on your screens also Richard Ni Amakwe and RNAQ divorce saga. Joanna Quaye files fresh suit. Enti we de monachia wen kensuo. Now yenhwen sem ni mu. Joanna Quaye, former wife of famous Ghanaian businessman and philanthropist Richard Ni Amakwe, widely known as RNAQ, has reportedly filed a fresh suit in their ongoing divorce settlement battle. In the divorce ne den kaye real na court ne verdict o koma ye ene Joanna Quaye ne lawyers de omode ko ese nka omo eje ewa ware ni mu a court ka said there be omo tete so ne ade no eno kra nem say akofa nsem wenyina ede aba. Now what is the fresh suit in question? Or say according to a report by the law platform.online, Joanna Quaye, in her new writ, which was filed at the Commercial Division of the High Court in Accra, is seeking 10% of the profits of Bills Microcredit Limited, a company that records shows that they co-funded since its founding in December 2011. Inti yechiremu platform the law platform.online no eno mo de betu dwa se Joanna Quaye kwadu fufura wo de akobo kunu dada Richard Ni Amakwe wo commercial division wo Accra High Court hanom ene se wo je 10% of emfasodie bia Bills Micro Credit Limited tete quick credit no wo mu enya esan se nkrata bia na no ada beto monten so no na echiremu 2011 December omuti company no na Joanna Quaye eka ho ene omuti quick creditor ene ababe Bills Micro Credit Limited na enumu no Joanna Quaye 10% shares na Richard Ni Amakwe 90% shares. Enti sa 10% shares no wo jisu mfaso bia aba no ne shares mfaso ananke wo se eba ne ho no wa file court writ se yenje emfama no. Now, so the report indicated that Joanna Quaye's request forms part of her right as a result of her directorship, investment, and ownership of Bills Microcredit Limited. So the meka no the entire worker say yenji 10% profit and famane ne say the papa mu a ukọ company ni mu a waka omu a omote company ni home o investi wo mu into a owner or a director or say investor and the shares 10% into also a fasode. She argued through her lawyers that she owns 10% of the company and thus is entitled to 10% of its profit under the ownership agreement. Enti asia pamwa when Richard Ni Amakwe Quaye ne say since 10% shares any diano. That just say anka ne papa mu a say afi o say busumi miensa ntemu o busumi insia ntemu nka mfaso bi ebeba company ni mu no 10% ne dia enti yenje enfama no. The plaintiff does seeks declarative reliefs from the commercial court that she holds 10% shares of the third defendant, Bills Microcredit Limited, and thus entitled to a 10% of the profit of the company, said Eddie Camboson. She further seeks the court to order her ex-husband and Bills Microcredit, the crown jewel of the success of Mr. Quaye, and to a chemwa, dear ne ama Richard Ni Amakwe, Richard Ni Amakwe obi animu no, enye ni food bank no, enye birthday or Quaye, enye chicken man pizza man, quick credit, ena ama Richard Nyamakwe enye sika bia wanya watimi dia invest bibia no no nso eka nkofo a wote ye ho nti no court ema ne kunu ene bills microcredit wo mo emfa ne 10% mfa so ema no or to account to her for all profits made since December 2011. She further seeks others directed at Richard Nyamakwe and bills microcredit for the payment of her share of the profit into Ochema Womombeya account emano every 2011 sika ba ye nyina enfasode ba ye nyina free 2011 Womombeya account na afi womun calculate ente ne 10% emano omo tene so yense bi omo je ne so free 2011 no ye nya sei na ade sei enye keka bomu ye sei enti sa na te de a enu nie de bi mu wie ye na mu nkotua ne sika enfaman muntua ne profit sebe ne profit enfaman with interest at the prevailing bank rate, part of the report read. Enti sikana wo mo ho ache fit 2011 mu de ye aduma ma meje mo fa interest enka ho interest a ukọ Bank of Ghana say ne banks ahodo no wo mo ege no eno na Joanna Quaye say ye mfama no enti wo je interest wo je ne profit with interest abusia. That is the new fresh filing Richard Nyamakwe, ne wife, ne ex-wife, akwakoye, the etiano. And so to say, lady no, na ni abrepa, where divorce mu battle, tare, where the inkudi agro ewo. So the ex-wife of Richard Nyamakwe told the court that she never transferred her shares in the company as asserted by her former husband. And this Ashafobekaya case in the shasi, no, and ye tititi one from them. Say Richard Nyamakwe krata bia beto dwama o share the owners and as shareholders what bills credit mu say Joanna Quaye di enim enti na kwakwa say the 10% na kwedi obi ho eno na Joanna Quaye chem say ono onim hwe e na onfa ne shares so nye the MOB a na che say to her no she's still a shareholder in bills microcredit. Now she does accuse Richard Nyamakwe RNAQ fraudulently transferring her shares in the company into Ochema Richard Nyamakwe onu anu apekoti kwan bi so kwan bone so e na ode ne 10% na akomo obi wa abrekra wonu ankasa de onim ho hwe. Or say it is not in doubt that the plaintiff was the owner of 100,000 shares, which is equal to 10% of the shares in Quick Credit and Investment Money Lending Company Limited. In the Ochemwa, bibia da di pefe say 10% no Joanna Quaye edia. The plaintiff has never agreed to a transfer of her shares to anybody. Nti enyada Richard Nyamakwe ne yere dada Joanna etena se edi nkomo daba kokora ma Joanna ka se oh mumfa me shares ne ema so masi anase obenten ensi da. Neither has she received any consideration for the purported transfer. Enti se empo mo de transfer ya mo bi anka list mo cooling it down. Muntu ninsem mo mani bibia mo de be patano, but according to their urban de wenya hwe. The first defendant executed a transfer of the plaintiff's share through an instrument which was not the act or deed of the plaintiff. Entino Sir Richard Nyamakwe akwa transfer ne yere dada Joanna ne shares e de amobia and the Joanna de onimoshi ono anonim kwan of aswa the plaintiff has never signed any instrument or document transferring her shares to anybody, including the second defendant. Enti at least yenina nim se obi transfer any shares and even for properties cry yes sample yenina ye be ye de ensa be shakrata ase enyanti ase we atin ho ase we atin but ye chema Joanna Quaye wa nkoda krokra se wo ko sign bibi che se ordinary shares no ma obi. Now, Obama will say the first defendant, without any lawful authorization by the plaintiff or excuse, made an instrument by which he assigned the shares of the plaintiff to the second defendant. Enti, kwa omofa aswa, omo transfer shares no. Ne kura ne said Joanna Quaye die onim ho hwe. The purported transfer of the plaintiff's shares was neither pursuant to any resolution stipulated by the Companies Act of Ghana nor in fulfillment of any of the requirements of Ghanaian law. The purported alteration of the records of the company through the unlawful transfer of her shares and the unlawful entry of the second defendant as a shareholder occurred as a result of fake deed or transfer made by the first defendant and the falsification of the plaintiff's signature, a portion of the writ state. International say, "Womaria omuho eno mako forge the former wife of Richard Quaye signature and oma transfer the shares ni illegally de ama obi a wono Joanna ni enimuhwe ntiende de Joanna Quaye asan de kwadu fofra court a woche mu say court enhwem na woma Richard Quaye ene bills microcredit emra wo mo be chechire nsemu wo mo me calculation na afei de sika mfaso aba fi 2011 ebepem sabre no omu bebu ho akonta omu bu ho akonta ewia omu fa ne sika ema no a interest eka ho. It is say de ebunya looks like the case is getting interesting day by day and some ne kwana nimu no na eya interesting and we are hoping say court so ebetina same way so na de wo mu bia no wamodi ababeto dwa se Joanna Quaye ewo case se woni case no court no ene be determine na se koba ne se no kreso de a na che se ebe ye nsempi na amafo chemu se Joanna Quaye de waye ne de eye pa cause na no ada boy ye ayekọ boy ye a Richard Quaye ko obie video bi e beto monten so a wono hye obi boso obi mani sika nem se Richard Quaye no sika nti Joanna Quaye wonim de oye now yen hye sa video we emra na yen to aso.
Would you give me $2 million?
$2 million. I'll give you 50% of this real estate.
And you know, ebi chire mu say Richard Quaye obetimi kura ma $2 million or more. And that way when it Dorsey we TikToker and na omo kasa nsem we. So obetimi ama more than that there. Ede na enwu hia se de oyiri ken untimi emfanye man. Ebi kwa chemu say with this be sure oba na bufuo more because osuma ni $2 million so be man 50%. Hey, as a ushiska and our person wodi ni wicked enye sika bia brebia wa brebia no e wo se wote so aba. Enti ye hwe say the divorce case we so ebe kwa ko wiwi. Now, ye